Hi, Karen Watts. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Very good. So Karen Watts is one of my mentors that I'm happy to have on The New Normal today. She's going to talk to us about being in leadership, being a Black woman in leadership, her journey, her story, some advice. We're in for a real treat. So welcome, Karen. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Well, thank you for being here in the new normal
The New
with you,
Normal.
Yailima. It's so exciting to be
I
here with you. Yes.
Thank you. So tell us a little bit about your story. How did you get into education?
Well, I was born into education. And the reason I say that is because both of my parents were teachers, and then they both became principals. I grew up in rural Guyana, South America.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yes. And upon graduation from high school at 16, I became a teacher, a real teacher.
Wow.
And
What do you mean by real teacher?
a real teacher in that teachers begin teaching or having a job as a teacher at 16
Well, it
in
was a
Guyana.
blessing.
And my parents did so, and so did I.
Oh, that's a blessing. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
It's in your blood.
So I've been at this profession of education for a long time.
Oh.
And I have enjoyed every day of it. I
Wow.
remember as a child that I played teacher for as long as I can remember, starting maybe at 5 years old, right? I was playing teacher until I became a real one. And have continued that journey to this day.
Oh, you put it out there in a vision. You did the vision and then the work proceeded after.
Yes, yes. So after that, I eventually came to the United States to study medicine. I
Okay.
majored in chemistry, wanting to pursue medicine, but eventually I decided to go back into education. I knew it was calling me. I was trying to push it away, but eventually I did go back. And my first day back, I said to myself, why was I staying away from this? This is exactly where I belong.
It's
Right?
your niche. Definitely your
Yeah.
niche. Yeah.
And I've been at it since that day here in New York City, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. I've enjoyed all of the students that I've worked with directly and indirectly. And it's great for me to see our students become very successful and go on to successful lives. So that has been my journey professionally. I eventually became an assistant principal at the school where you're a principal.
I know.
Very cool.
Yeah.
A good 22 years ago in 1998.
Yeah.
And then after that, 3 years later, I was the principal there. Then I left in 2008 to become the first executive principal in New York City at a school in Brooklyn called the Acorn School for Social Justice.
Let me stop you right there. So I'm hearing some key things. First of
Yes.
all, shout out to our Wadley family. We love them.
Yes.
Wadley. We totally love them.
Yes.
Shout out my other family too, AUPE, Academy Urban Planning. Can't forget them. But Wadley is definitely a great space and place. So what I'm hearing is that one, as a leader, doesn't matter your color, doesn't matter your gender, you followed your passion.
Yes.
Your passion. So it's important to have passion. And then the other thing I'm seeing is that you didn't stay in one space and just delve there, that you took your leadership skills with you to every different branch, like you went up through the ranks.
Yes.
Yes.
But I always said that, I always ensured that I maximize myself within whatever level I was in, right? So when I was a teacher, I was all out a teacher. I was doing everything that was needed for me to be a successful teacher.
Right.
I always believed in professional learning and, ensuring that I was always learning every day as well so that I can continue to, support my students.
So you grow.
And grow, of course, and grow.
Right.
Yeah. And so for me, going to the next level always entailed, someone saying to me, like, now is the time that you should become an assistant principal,
You've
or
gotten a
you
good
should now
mentor.
be the principal, right?
So mentorship, growth,
Right.
expansion in the field you're in, because we love
Yes.
teachers. And if you are a teacher, to us, you're near and dear. Some of
Right.
us get the call, but some of us are leaders where we are. So growth in those spaces are phenomenal. Well, you taught me
Right.
that. Always stay
Yes.
in the learning stance.
Oh, exactly.
You
Keep
know,
the learning stance going. And I think that's, what has helped me be successful at every level, is that not only was I well prepared for the next level, but I also continued to learn in each level.
and
And
that's
I
people can
demonstrated
see.
my leadership throughout. When
Yeah,
I was a teacher,
that's
I
right.
always found myself doing leadership kinds of things, right? Putting in a special program for the science department that I was a part of, things like that. This was before we had teacher leadership roles
That's
that
right.
we currently have uh, in our schools now. But I always found those opportunities to lead. And really, for me, leadership is really solving problems, right?
Okay.
Leaders are needed to take the initiative to come up with the vision, to come up with a plan, to really solve a problem. And you could do that you don't need a title to do that, right? You could still, yeah.
Right. So leadership is not just a title, it's a function. And so
Yeah.
wherever you're functioning, you can assume a leadership role. People don't have to tap you to be the leader. You can find a problem that needs to be solved in that instance you're in and create a leadership opportunity. I just wanted to comment, watching you in professional development is always a pleasure. Where I'm always like playing on my phone or doing some kind of self-distractive type thing, Karen is taking notes.
Yeah.
Like she never heard the words spoken before, and it could have been the 10th time. And in each one, you find something new.
What do I always say? I always find the nugget, right?
Always find the nugget. I'm always looking like, where's mine? Like I'm the shifter in the gold mine, and you're like, struck gold.
There is always a nugget in every learning opportunity. You've never seen it that way. It's a new day. You may be with new people, although you're in the same kind of learning program or workshop. It all depends on so many various variables. So, the opportunity to learn is always there.
Okay, so I'm hearing the leadership part. Now, have you encountered any struggles being a woman?
Well, I am not sure I'm not sure if it's been struggles, but I've always had to be very courageous, and to just have a big belief in myself that I could do something, I could go and make a difference in the role that I'm currently in, or in the next role that I was able to move into. I have a very big belief that I am able to make a difference, or I am able to solve a problem. And that has always driven the work that I've done.
And I believe it's the same attitude if I was to ask you have you faced any challenges being Black? I know for a fact that you believe whatever you set your mind to, the result is yours.
Yeah.
And so
but I also, I've always had high expectations for myself, and you've worked with me for others too, right?
Yeah.
People, yeah. So always high expectations, but I always believe in high levels of support, right? Gotcha. So if someone is trying to solve something, I believe that I also have to provide a lot of supports as needed. Right?
And I can testify. One thing, you came to AUP, when it was AUP then, AUP now, you gave me programs to support my vision. So, yes. You have these goals, but you sometimes don't have the tools. And you were a big factor in showing me that if you want to principle correctly, or even in life, you need the tool to match your vision, which is people or resources, either way.
Right.
And that's key.
And I thank you for bringing up resources. That's another big piece of my leadership, right?
Right.
Is to ensure that I provide resources, I secure resources, and so forth, right? So that's always been a big piece of my leadership.
Yeah, paving the way for people to do. Okay, so now let's get to the nitty gritty. What pieces of advice do you have for Black women leaders, white women leaders, male, female, people in general. If you were to say you want to lead, I know you say lead where you are, but something that you wake up every day and say, this is what I do. What do you have?
So my advice would be, as I said before, you know, in order to be a leadership, you have to find something to solve, right? Some problems, some issues, some concern. In our industry, for me, it's always been to ensure every student was successful, to ensure every student was reading at grade level. At the high school level, ensuring our students pass the Regents exams at mastery level,
Right.
and things like that, right? Or to ensure that all of our students graduate college and career ready. All those were like challenges for me as a leader, right?
Right.
I wanted to put now programs in place and mobilize staff members, right, to help me solve this problem, whether it was at the school level or at the district level when I was a superintendent, or now at the borough level in this role as an executive superintendent, right? So it's identifying what the concerns are, what we need to make happen in this role, and then ensuring that we have the right staff members and the right resources to support the success of our students. So that has been what has fueled my work.
That's your blueprint. That's your blueprint. So your blueprint is find a problem, solve the problem. That's right. All right. Any other words?
Well, I really appreciate you as a leader, and having seen you grow in your roles, right?
Yeah, that's all you. I always tell people I've learned to create a school where every children could be successful because Karen showed me how. Every child needs a mentor, some cheerleader that's going to cheerlead they behind straight from the time they come all the way through, looking at all the avenues that they could possibly be successful in. Even if sometimes you're not that person, you're not allowed to throw a kid out. That is like key. No 39s, no dropouts.
No dropouts,
No
none
dropouts.
of that.
None of that.
I definitely believe in our children, believe that every student can be successful with the right level of supports, right? Hold expectations high, provide the supports they need, and they will rise to those expectations.
That's right. Because
I've seen it happen so many times throughout my career, you know.
Yeah. So, I mean, we call it the pedagogy of love, which is Karen, or Karen, the pedagogy of love. Right?
And the pedagogy of hope, right?
Yeah.
Trying to find a way for our young people to see a future that's very bright, and then giving them the tools now, giving them the right amount of love to get them to engage and connect to the work, and then for them to really arrive at that future that we can help them envision. So, yes. So the pedagogies of love and hope at work.
Yes, hand in hand. Definitely. You should create the symbol with them like hand in hand.
Yes, right. Yeah, definitely.
Definitely, yes. So, all right, Karen, I so thank you for this time because it's very needed for people to see women in leadership, Black women in leadership, and good leaders, period.
Thank you so much.
And I'm grateful for not only the opportunity to talk to you now, but to be in your presence. That all that I have in terms of wanting to be better, I get also from you as well. I mean, it's in me, but to have a mentor to get it out of you is needed. So that's another key point of leadership that we need to say, mentorship. You have to find somebody to impart good wisdom to.
Yeah. And even now in this role, there are people who've reached out to me that I find the time to do that kind of mentoring with the up and coming leaders and so on. I'm happy to do that. And I'm happy to have, some of our up and coming leaders come to the borough office to do their internships and so on. So it's been exciting to see that happen as well. Yeah.
I hear you giving an invitation, and I'm always, when I was working for you, swatting away like she don't have, that's enough. Karen's time, she never runs out of time. She always has time. So I hear that invitation, up and coming, you can reach out. All right, Karen. Well, thank you so much.
Okay, then. Take care. Nice seeing you.
Nice talking to you.
Okay, good. Bye-bye.
So there you have it, the new normal. Karen Watts, Executive Superintendent. She is in New York City Department of Education. She rose up from being a teacher at 16 to an executive soup, now in her journey. The tidbits that I want you to leave away with is ensure that as a leader, you're leading from where you are now. To prepare to be an awesome leader, it starts with your everyday. You're finding solutions to solve by using people and resources to solve them. You're also looking for opportunities in which you can mentor others. We always lend a hand back. We are never looking forward as a good leader to just ourselves. We're looking to build up the next generation where we can. And so that's very important, whether you're Black, whether you're female, whatever race, creed, or gender, leadership means that you lead, and you lead from the front. Now you provide resources to pull up through the back, and you also make sure you're accessible from the front to the back, but you lead from the front, and that's necessary in leadership. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you at another time. This is Kylema Norman, and this is The New Normal.